4 competitors think they have what it takes to be the chopped champion. Let's meet them. First up, Chef Arvind Dansu.
I'm the executive chef for Relish Caterers in New York City. Located in Wellman Rink in Central Park. Catering chefs have a bad rap because we're known for producing food in mass production. But I put a lot of pressure on myself. It's just too thick. Thin this out, please. I do believe I can win.
Next, Chef Martin Brock.
I'm the executive chef at Atria in New York City. I'm from Germany. My style is basically modern European cooking, combining my French-based technique with flavors from all over the world. It's 15 years of global experience. That's why I think I can win that competition.
And then there's Chef Deborah Gorman.
I run a catering company with a bunch of partners. Before that, I worked in restaurants to line cook for 3 years. I actually didn't go to traditional culinary school. I basically learned on the job from a lot of amazing chefs that have taught me a lot. If I was to win, it would just solidify that I'm on the right path.
And finally, Chef Mark Twersky.
This competition is going to be easy for me. I'm a chef instructor at the French Culinary Institute in New York City.
Did you want a starchy kind of potato?
My students tell me that I'm really patient. I take the time to understand their questions. I'm probably one of the nicest guys out there. I always have a smile on my face. But I'm absolutely not too nice to win this competition.
There are 3 rounds: appetizer, entree, and dessert. Each course comes with its own basket of mystery ingredients. You must use every ingredient in some way. When the clock runs out, the judges will critique your dishes on presentation, taste, and also creativity. If your dish doesn't cut it, you will be chopped. Chefs, please open your baskets. And we have apricots, macadamia nuts, and oysters.
Sweet. I've worked with these ingredients before. I like these ingredients.
I saw the ingredients, and immediately my mind goes blank.
Only 20 minutes on the clock for the appetizer round, and time starts now.
I've grabbed some ingredients that I really like to work with. I've got a big following at the school, and I want to show everyone that I'm as good as I say I am. I'm going to make oysters with a bell pepper mignonette. Mignonette sauce traditionally is vinegar, shallots, and peppercorns. I know that this is going to complement the oysters really, really well.
I'm happy to see the apricots because I love to use fruit in savory dishes. I want to do a chutney. So I sauteed some shallots, diced some apricots, and a little bit of red wine vinegar and sugar. Being of Indian descent, I grew up with a lot of cardamom-infused dishes. I know it goes well with chutneys. How will it go with the oysters? I'm not sure yet, but I'm a risk taker.
Oysters are great, but serving them in the half shell was a typical thing to do. I want to go a step further. So I decided to marinate them, serve them as part of a salad, and use the apricots in the salad as well as in the marinade. I wanted to transform the ingredients to make it something that nobody else would think of. I also want to separate my style from Martin in particular. Martin and I have worked together in the past. It's very humbling to be competing against him.
Having Deborah with me in the competition is kind of awkward. That was her boss. I'm very focused on my own dish. Oyster on the half shell, topped with chutney, and the toasted macadamia nuts. I'm gonna melt some sugar, make a caramel, deglaze with red wine vinegar. It's my birthday today. I want to win this, you know?
Our judges are Latin cuisine authority, Aron Sanchez, acclaimed executive chef, Alex Guarnaschelli, and Italian maestro, Scott Conant. Judges, can you see these 3 ingredients working well together?
Yeah, I really can. Apricots are tart, but they have a little bit of sweetness to them. You have the macadamia nuts that have a great textural component. These are smaller oysters, not very substantial. So you really have to incorporate the pantry in a creative way here.
15 minutes left, chefs. 15.
Thank you.
I'm dicing my peppers, and I get to about my 3rd pepper, and I realize, what am I doing? These peppers are not even a mystery ingredient. I start adding the other elements to the mignonette sauce. I think the apricots are absolutely delicious. Dice those up and decide to put them in too.
There isn't really an obvious place that I can see for those macadamia nuts to come in.
You could roast them off a little bit just to develop the flavor of the macadamia nut. and either cut them in half or even just crush them and put a little sprinkle. The texture is going to be an important element of this dish.
The macadamia nuts, I'm thinking they need to be toasted. I figure my chutney is gonna make this oyster or break this oyster because everybody's serving raw oyster. And it will come down to what you're topping that oyster with.
I don't notice it at first, but then I look at Arvin's dish. Oh, okay. He's also doing a chutney. Well, we'll see. The chutney's hot. I have to get this chutney cold to make my dish work.
Just got a little bit of a traffic jam over at the freezer between Martin and Arvin.
I've come here to be creative. I see the mint, cilantro, and the basil.
Deborah has a lot of fresh herbs, so I see a potential nice light salad really coming into play here.
I slice on my apricots, put aside some for the salad, put aside some for the marinade for the oysters. Start creating that marinade with sesame oil.
5 minutes, chefs.
Dad,
No one has touched our oysters. Somebody needs to start shucking.
oh my God, it's time to shuck the oysters. So I grabbed the towel, I grabbed my oyster knife. I think back to when I'm watching the show on TV and how easy it looks. But with the clock there, the judges there, it's just a pressure that I didn't imagine.
Last time I shucked oyster was like about 6 months ago. I wouldn't say that I'm great at it, but I'm good at it.
Going up against one of my former cooks puts definitely a lot of pressure on me to get beaten by her after being her boss. That would be embarrassing.
Martin, he's been so good to me in the past as an employee that it's hard to, want to stomp him down in this competition. But part of me really wants to win this cash prize. It's gonna be interesting.
Brought to you by